Kicking off our match of the week here for week number 2. We got TES on this blue side with the Yumi ban, tried and true with the Annie as well, and the Cassante Melio by Weibo on red side.
And Cassante is gone for both our top laners, so that is going to be a huge priority gone for the side of top esports. And they're already getting rid of this Melio pick as well, which is something that we see Mark prioritizing a lot, especially in their previous 2 series. So it's going to be really interesting how this bottom lane matchup is going to play out, because we've seen something like the Varus and the Heimerdinger piloted by these 2 players, and it did wonders because it is such a good counter to those hyper range ADCs, which Light is so willing to choose. But another pick that I also want to highlight before we go into this, because if we ever see Jinx versus Aphelios for this game 1, which the chances are pretty high, I want to see the Shy lock in Malphite again, because I believe that his Malphite in his entire career history is currently 4-0. He's never lost on it.
Ooh, that would be nice. Rock solid there as well. But the Nico is still open, a prevalent pick every time it is open, and Top Esports will grab that one for rookie.
And with the Nico getting taken away by Top Esports, that does leave something like the Wukong and Annie available for the side of WeiboGaming to pick up. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do also pick up the Gragas, just to deny that champion away from Wayward, where we've seen champions like Sion also being something that he is very comfortable on. But if you just have Gragas for Sion, well, the Gragas is going to give that champion quite a hard time to deal with in the top lane. But no, Xiaohua has decided to go with the Varus approach. And that makes me really curious, because we've seen champions like the Varus coming out of Light as well. They did the exact same strat compared to Top Esports, and that is just playing for the poke and outranging this Nico from the very beginning.
Yeah, trying to combo that with the Jace and that lockdown from the Maokai in the jungle as well. I want to see what the answer is from TES. Maybe some fight ability, some team fight potential, and some setup from this mid lane. We talked a lot about how these duos mid jungle are so crucial to get both these rosters off the ground and running, and we will potentially have just our jungle matchup locked in with a Wukong for Tien.
I think I saw on Weibo that we had a collage of just players hovering Vayne when it comes to champion slot. I believe Deft also did it in
Summoning
the LCK,
the
so that is just summoning God Uzi into their games. But that is going to be the Gragas blind being picked by Wayward. And my biggest question for the Shy coming into this series is, yes, you are a great tank now. You've expanded your champion pool, and we know that you do great things when you do have the opportunity to do so, like the Cassante and stuff like that. But can we see a Gwen game? Can we see WeiboGaming have a different identity where you play towards a side lane instead of those 5v5s and really expand what you can do with Weiwei as your jungler? But that's going to be their feel, is getting locked in for Light, signifying that the Nautilus might be the next contested pick.
Something I really appreciate from Top Esports' picks so far, at least, is just the amount of spacing and worry that you're going to give over to Weibo, because you have the Cask, you have the Pop Blossom. Not alone are those giant abilities within team fights, but you also give the worry of those coming out at any moment. So it's going to be a lot about the mechanical execution of team fights, but they have a team fight comp already that can pick apart a lot of carry members from Weibo. We do see in the second phase of bans, though, the Lucian is going to be banned by Weibo, and we get the Lulu banned by TES.
We also need to be aware that Jackie Love and Mark always have the Pyke and Draven up their pockets. So if WeiboGaming, they want to go full scaling and wait for those items to come online for Light and Xiaohu on this Jace in the mid lane, that is going to be something that they really need to deny the enemy team from finding those angles. But I'm sure that with the next pick going towards over to WeiboGaming, they're most likely going to lock in something like the Sion for the Shy to go towards that top lane and save that counter pick for Crisp.
A little bit of supportal counter pick, something we've actually seen happen a couple times already, which I just always find hilarious. We finally get the Zeri ban. I thought maybe she makes it through, but there's no way that champion's making it through if she's still open in the second phase. So there's the ADC focus from Weibo. We also get the Sion ban towards the Shy from TES.
Yeah, that has been denied, so counter pick will be saved as WeiboGaming. They suspect that this Gragas, I mean, realistically, I'm a cook. We've seen Nico jungle
cooking
in this current patch, and we could potentially see this Gragas not going towards that top lane, but
Yes,
that is going to be the
let's
Draven and
go.
Pyke getting locked in, as we have Crisp blinding this Rakan, which is going to be a terrible matchup. You never want to be doing that when Draven is up and available, but the final pick most likely going to be this Poppy. I would love to have that in the hands of WeiboGaming. That does deny a lot of that mobility that is shared between Mark and Tien.
A classic Jackie Love champion, but also a strategy that they can really heavily play around. You get rolling on this bottom side, and then your team fight just becomes hell later on. On the other side, I do really like the Poppy up here. This top lane matchup is going to be very peculiar, but you see the obvious setup for Weibo coming into this first game.
Yeah, and this is going to be the Shy's first game on Poppy in the summer split, so I'm very excited to see how he pilots his champion, especially when it comes to those team fights, because you look at top esports team composition coming to this game one, so much CC that will put a lot of threat onto Light, and especially with him having something like the Rakan, you want to be playing for those engages and playing alongside Weiwei on those major objectives, so Light's positioning needs to be perfect. But this is a very common trend out of top esports. They love going for those aggressive bot lane 2v2s, the Lucian and Nami, but this time around, Draven and Pyke. And that's exactly what shut down Gala on LNG in their series up against LNG. And it gave that Aphilio such a hard time to play in the laning phase.
It did indeed, but we're getting into it now. Game 1 of our match of the week for week 2 of the summer split of LPL is kicking off. It's Top Esports versus WeiboGaming. Brothers versus brothers. The Shy versus Rookie and Jackie Love. Tien versus Crisp. We're hitting the rip now. We're going to have some bad blood here. You better get ready. As our match of the week kicks off, we are looking at these duos in the mid and jungle, and where Tien and Weiwei will be looking early on. Whew. Got loud on that second one. My goodness.
Yeah.
Gotta let the Gios ring as we got a packed house here for match of the week. Love seeing the audience in person and everyone ready to go for this fire matchup here. But to brass tacks, at least, we do see a little bit of vision play coming out for both sides. This has been very typical since the start of the season, but now it is about seeing where these junglers are gonna be pathing towards. It looks like we should have bottom side starts for both of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Tien, he finishes something like the red buff and he starts putting a lot of attention towards his bottom side and force the flashes out of Light in particular. But like you said, having so much vision and Jackie Love being a little bit of a menace, getting that stack onto blue, it is going to mess with Weiwei's ability to clear just a little bit on this Maokai, denying that blue buff for at least the first level. Tien can honestly go for an invade here and really bully Weiwei out of his own jungle, but that's spotted on a ward.
What a game plan from TES to just keep the aggression up using this bottom lane. As the skewer does connect, get the grand entrance out by Crisp, leveling that one up with that first tick. And it's Tien who went the wraparound, but has been spotted this entire time and still under vision. Weiwei with no real answer because of the pressure that's being put on bottom side.
We do have the bottom lane of WeiboGaming rotating, but we also have to highlight that Mark does have that ignite advantage when it comes to a full-on 3v3, and Top Esports, they're more than happy to take that. He's still pestering Weiwei.
He's still here, man. He's got the monkey antics coming through, and the patience. Oh my God. Mark is coming over now. They smell blood in the water, and TES, they want first blood. Weiwei goes down. First blood for Tien as you get the Timo thumbs up, and TES are off to the races.
And that's exactly what you expect out of Mark, piloting something like the Pyke, committing all the summoners, and giving Weiwei such a hard time to start off in this game one.
Holy cow, that's just a feels bad moment for Weiwei now. He will be so distraught, but will be pathing back up towards the top side. And this was literally from minute 2, we saw aggression on their end of the jungle.
Yeah, and Weiwei ended up bramble smashing the Gromp out of range for this pike to hit. I think it would have been better if he didn't hit the Gromp away, because at least it would have been blocking the initial pike Q. But like you saw, Weiwei also flashed over the wall, and this Maokai is having a very tough early game, and that's exactly what you want as top esports. Really mess with WeiboGaming's ability to scale into this game and really stop this solo AP Maokai from getting items like that Demonic Embrace online.
Gonna be a nice little item spike as well. As things going to plan right now for top esports. Top lane going to be going even here so far. We see Weiwei finally having cleared his top side of the jungle, getting some of that farm discrepancy back. But Tien, I will expect to see continuously hovering at this bottom side after he clears his top side of the map.
Yeah, but no flash available on Mark, but he's more than happy to do so. I'm expecting more attention shown towards his bottom side. I don't want top esports anywhere near this Poppy because of the ability of that denial for the W, which will give Tien quite the hard time to engage, and also Wayward on this Gragas. So we want all the vision set up by this Pyke, which you already see him doing with that pink ward, also showing if Xiaohu ever rotates towards his bottom side with that advantage that he... I don't think he'll ever get up against Nico, because we had a Nico first pick away by top esports, and this champion in the current patch will always get lane priority.
Yeah, it truly is disgusting. I do have a conversational question though, especially because we have so many world champions in our midst here in this match of the week. Which one of their world skins is the best? But I guess we'll have to wait for your answer, because the Shy might have wished that he had his world skin right now, as Wayward looking for the solo does end up getting that flash. And I go back to my question, Kitty.
I personally enjoy the, I believe it's SSG skins a lot.
Okay,
but in particular, I really enjoy Ruler's World Championship skin just for his signature. The little star.
out of these three, what do you think?
Out of these three?
Or four, I guess.
I'm gonna go with FPX Malphite. FPX Malphite has to be the most Giga Chad skin out of everything.
All right.
No?
I actually really like the Thresh, because it makes it just look that much more like a Power Ranger. It's either that or the Lisa. I think they're both great. That whole line. Power Ranger fan here, no big deal. We did have a lane gank set up and not seen so far by Weiwei. Just trying to get some pressure relief on this bottom side.
Weiwei doesn't have that flash available though, so Chris has to be the one that hits that initial W onto the enemy team. But like I've been saying, this lane is pretty hard for Chris to ever be the first engage with that Draven E available.
Makes it so
we'll have to wait and see Mazel. Yep.
Now Reset did end up coming out from Weiwei, the Shy, focusing on a bit of vision game for himself. Make sure he's all safe and sound. Got his whole little nest set up here, and I think we're just gonna go right back to the noodle fight.
I mean, to be fair, Wayward came out on top. I'm assuming one too many Qs hit onto the Shy while the Shy was just trying to get his wave in, and he ended up being the one burning that flash towards that top side. But we need to wait for level 6s, especially for the side of WeiboGaming, as they have a lot of lockdown once those ultimates come online. But my biggest question is, we want to see a lot of this Rift Herald being used for the side of top esports, especially towards Jackie Love. So we want to have both of these supports rotating towards there in about a minute's time.
And again, the typical stay is that Weiwei floats around these solo lanes. They wait for light to really come online and try to take 5v5 from there. On the other side, Tien specifically focuses through Rookie and Jackie Love, and they have opted into that here this time around. They've put a lot of presence from Tien on bottom side of the map, and we see that continue here. But I'm starting to get to the point where we're going to get level 6 Nature's Grasp for Weiwei, and that's when you can start being a bit more proactive.
So like I've been saying, that Demonic Embrace for that first item acting as the Maokai is so important.
Ooh.
The Shy's dead! He's so low.
No, he makes it out. He is
oh my
a little bit worse for wear here.
Sneaky,
now Wayward with the flash. He gets that slow. Keeper's verdict will be flashed out of. Wayward looks for the solo. He's going to solo Giga Shy, as that should just be it. One slam down, and Wayward has delivered the cask.
And this is why Wayward is one of the highlight players on top esports in this summer split so far. Absolutely stylish combo onto the Shy without that flash available, and gets that kill into his pockets.
And again, this is a guy, Wayward, who had questions raised on him. He was the primary starter. Ching Tien took his spot last split, and we saw so much from him in terms of stability in the top side. But you bring Wayward because you want to get some lane advantages, and we see that happen here with the mistake from the Shy.
And you see that cast killing off the final minions, also putting the Shy into that tower range, taking 2 tower shots. But this final flash coming out of Wayward as he places that ward into the bush makes him do that as well. And of course, the final bonk onto the Shy seals the deal, and that's a solo kill into Giga Wayward.
A little bit of hype from the coaching staff there as well, as we do see plates being burned down by Weibo. Be a little bit more careful. They actually have Weiwei hovering down here as well, so a lot of safety, but there is a angry Tien coming back out on the rift, and Mark's actually looking for a little bit of something.
Weiwei is level 6 though.
Grasp. There's that level 6. Mark in a little bit of trouble, gonna be blocked, and there you go, right onto Mark, and Weibo will get their first kill of the game.
Top 10 mysteries to League of Legends. I don't know Maokai's ultimate hitbox because you clearly saw Jackie Love purposely standing in front of it, tanking it with the cleanse, but Mark still got hit.
Oh, double cyclone here, and a lot of damage can come through from Jackie Love, but he can't get the cash out just yet. As Chris did burn the flash, so did Light, and so did Weiwei.
Yeah, that is 3 flashes coming out of WeiboGaming. Also, Chris decided to take the Hex Tech flash for this game 1. But like I said, having that Rift Herald, it's all about Jackie Love for this game 1 and how this Draven is going to pop some heads on the Rift with the amount of items and gold that he's going to be able to collect.
That's 3 plates for this man. Huge stuff and a big back going to be coming out here. Now, we do have to temper some expectations, I feel like. We've seen what Aphelios does post 25 minutes, right? 3 items, you literally destroy entire team compositions. You have to be a little bit more, not reserved, but a little bit more clinical with this Draven as you get further on into the game. Now, if you have a snowball lead, maybe that doesn't matter so much. They'll look towards that as Rookie gets engaged on in mid lane by Crisp. Won't find it.
And like you've been saying, the biggest problem for the side of Top Esports is their range is quite small compared to what WeiboGaming have decided to drop in this game. When something like the Jace, the Aphelios, once those items come online, they're going to be able to play with that space. So Top Esports, they need to be very willing to pull the trigger and not get poked out before those important 5v5s, especially in Rookie, because we've seen this Nevo pick getting used to its full potential when you do have those flashes available. So my question is Rookie going to be able to do the same? If he does sometimes get caught out of position towards that mid lane, you already see Chris desperately trying to get his hands onto this Nico to deny that ability.
We've had all the Yagao Nico plays you could ever want. I want me some Rookie Nico plays as Weiwei trying to shut down this bottom lane. I said they usually focus around these solo lanes, but this bottom lane needs to be dealt with, and he's looking to deal with it right now. As Mark going to step up here, maybe taking the engage. The Nature's Grasp is available once again. Maybe Top Esports going to be a little bit scared of Nature after this.
We do have the flashes available for the side of Top
Jackie
Esports,
Love.
so if Weiwei does look, I'm sure Weiwei's going to be making a
child,
visit.
As they're going to find the big engage. Moonlight Visual point blank on the Mark. He did buy a lot of space for Jackie Love there and buys his life too.
He got instantly deleted. Mark also had that flash available, but Weiwei coming out with a very clutch combo just secures that as well. I'm surprised that Tien didn't hover a little bit more. I mean, you had the vision towards that top side. You don't really see the Maokai making it too much play towards this Poppy and Gragas lane. So I think for Top Esports, you really need to be stopping Weiwei from kind of denying this Pyke's and Draven's ability in this early game, because you already see him making 2 attempts towards his bottom side.
Yeah.
But in the end, because of that reset, Top Esports gets his first dragon.
We set up a lot in the draft about kind of the spacing for TS works in later game team fights as well, but I think one thing we focused big for Weibo was that poke. It's also just about the way they can be so aggressive with that poke, right? You have Weiwei on this Maokai that can set up so much vision control around objectives. They want to poke you down and then come in to execute, and that's going to be even easier to do with some walls gone, as we got Infernal Soul on the Rift.
And Top Esports having 2 of those dragons already, but I do want to kind of mention this topside matchup as we keep getting the directors showing us. I'm very surprised that Weibo was able to get that kill onto the Shy. I think the 2 times that the Shy got really low HP, it was just him being a little bit over pushing that lane, trying to get his wave in.
Yeah.
And Weibo, instead of going for the wave, he was just going for the kills. But now he's picked up that Roa and it's already on 2. Remember when Roa Saras was a thing back in League of Legends for the mid lane meta?
Don't bring it back. Don't bring it back. I don't want it. I don't want it. We do get those first item completions, though. The Essence Reaver plus the Serrated Dirk for Jackie Love is going to be huge. We still haven't seen the cash out, though, and that needs to come alive for TES with this Draven pick as well. And maybe with this clear coming through, you see a little bit of safety on this bottom side, because I think there is a stalemate to some extent. You don't necessarily have the big damage to take out the combo of Light and Crisp, and Light has the Storm Razor now on the Aphelios.
Yeah, relatively slow early game for the Aphelios and Rakan. I would love to see Rookie utilize his lane push that he is able to secure on this Nico Jace matchup and rotate and put some pressure onto this Aphelios and Rakan, where you see that there's so much vision set up in this river, but there's a lot of great flank wars by Chris. So if Rookie decides to take the correct route, that could be an angle. But like you said, Jackie Love still looking to cash out is going to be the next big play for the side of Top Esports.
We just have all teams, all eyes focusing bottom side. We'll get to Rookie and Xiaohu apparently later, I guess. And it's an interesting conversation to have because they have been so integral. But looking at bottom side yet again, double Moonlight Vigil, and they're just both dead. A double kill for Xiaohu from the sniper spot.
Let's just rewind, Rookie. We never TB'd there. The bottom lane play never happened, and Jackie Love loses all of his stacks towards his bottom side.
Oh, that feels so bad. You want a little bit of a chrono break from that one, as a really good capitalization from Weibo, and that's some of the pick potential they can have, just the amount of range that they can have coming into this one. Xiaohu wasn't even on screen, it felt like.
Yeah, and you already see Xiaohu being there first, utilizing the amount of vision control that Crisp and Weiwei have been able to secure in this bottom side vision, while we don't see the same type of presence from Tian and Rookie hovering this Draven Pike lane. And this is already starting to get a little bit worrying because Jackie Love 0 and 1 now. And with Rift Herald spawning up very soon, he's going to be rotating slower, but I'm not too sure if this is the approach that you want to be taking as Tian in this game one.
I will just say, there's a lot of people that you don't want to give resources over to on the side of Weibo, but I feel like Xiaohu is definitely one of those, and especially on the Jace, he'll have so much presence from these outside of objective ranges. We're going to take a look back at that one, but I want to return to the conversation afterwards.
This is just so clean. You see that ward placed by Crisp that is out of the pink ward range, and just all abilities committed from Light and Xiaohu just meant these two people exploded out of existence.
They literally spontaneously combusted right in front of our eyes. But I think Xiaohu, since his days in RNG, has had some troubles. We were talking about kind of the lack of permanent success that Weibo has found since their previous Suning moniker. But I think Xiaohu has been such a welcomed condition for Weibo. Just a general out of the mid lane like he had been with RNG, but finding a lot more of these kind of carry performances out of him as well.
Yeah, especially with the addition of Weiwei, where he is willing to kind of play setup for Xiaohu. It really allows him to have that time to shine on champions like the Syndra and the Jace for this game one. And like you said, already being 2-0 with the Yeomans getting picked up as well. That's a huge spike for this upcoming Dragon, which will be in 50 seconds. And with flashes available on the side of Top Esports, it should be fine, but they really want to start forcing these fights alongside Tian and Rookie to really start getting the tempo a little bit faster.
Yeah. And this is a point in the game where we can start seeing more influence from Wayward and the Shy. And that's specifically what I want to see from TES, is try to get this big body spacing into your team fights. You've got to get the cohesion together. But right now, it looks like it's just going to be a bit of a scuffle down here as Weibo's clearing out vision around and ahead of this Dragon Pit.
It's so cursed to think that Top Esports, they're just letting Crisp get rid of all of this vision. Also mid priority going over towards Light as well. But my eyes onto this Poppy for that upcoming fight, because Poppy has so much denial ability for Top Esports to work around. So Rookie, he needs to find a really good angle.
Nature's Grasp and the quickness already popped here. It's trigger pulled from Weibo. We'll go a bit wide. Rookie is looking for a big flank as the dragon spawns here.
That's two big main engage tools gone for the side of WeiboGaming. They need to play with their spacing and their poke, but it does seem like without this, it's going to be a little bit hard to contest.
You're going to try to do so. This is where they're in a power point, though. They don't want to be the ones on the objective. They want to come in afterwards. 4,000 health now on this Dragon. Big pivotal moment for Weibo. They go in with the shot. Pop Blossom on a 3, though. Dragon was stolen by Weiwei. Afterwards, though, TES, 2 members get knocked out by Keeper's Verdict. And it's Weibo fighting away at the hearts of TES. TES should make it away for a little bit longer. Try to execute himself. But what a fight from Weibo.
Not only the Dragon gets secured by Weiwei on this Maokai, the Shy forces a numbers advantage with that ultimate hitting the bottom lane of Top Esports. And that is an overall win. I thought it was going to be a little bit tough for them to walk into this situation without Maokai and the Rakano available. But no, the Shy flashes in and has his eyes locked onto the carries of Top Esports. As we see Weiwei using his ultimate, trying to deny Weiwei to get that final smite. But we have everyone untouched for the side of WeiboGaming for this ADC. And with the red and white, I mean, it is just going to be absolutely nuts for Top Esports to deal with.
Oh, dude, as Jackie Love and Mark just have to watch from afar. That just is such a perfectly executed ultimate from the Shy. And these are the kinds of things that can set the pace, but make the difference in the composition setup that Weibo have.
You already kind of see that this Pike pick 0 and 3, and I'm afraid to say this champion won't get any stronger as we have all of these items slowly coming online for WeiboGaming. But we really need a lot of the enemy teams to get to that execute range to really get the full potential of this champion. But unfortunately, not having enough damage through Rookie and Jackie Love, we don't see that in these major team fights.
Yeah. Rip there was popped in mid lane. Got the Nature's Grasp from Weiwei. A TP in response comes through from Top Esports. They're just going to try to charge this in. Here comes the Keeper's Verdict onto both of the members again! Jackie Love and Mark are just eating hammers today! A big cast though from Weiwei. That is the separation you needed. And Jackie Love comes back to the fold. Although Weibo have already done some damage.
How does he keep hitting 2 people on this Poppy ultimate? They had the numbers advantage, but somehow Crisp ended up being the one that died as he was locked down by the side of Top Esports. But we're getting a full-on ARAM in this mid-game.
I just didn't know that hammers were a valued meal for Top Esports, especially their bottom lane. It's looking a little bit rough here as they've been picked out of fights, and there is a clock ticking, right? We mentioned it earlier. Draven does not feel good later on, and Aphelios definitely does. We see the combo here, though.
Yep. I mean, Jackie Love was caught out of position, but this is a free Uber ride to safety for the bottom lane of Top Esports, and that was their biggest mistake from the Shy. As Crisp, it was all good until Jackie Love cashed in. That is such anti-synergy from the side of WeiboGaming, and it was very sad to see, actually.
We did get those second item completions for members, though. We got the Gale Force for Light. That was seen used in that last fight. But more importantly, the Lord Dobbs for Jackie Love, trying to deal with a lot of these tanky frontline members.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
We do a bit of an item checkup as we do have the Manamune and Yomu's completed for Xiaohu, level 13 as well. I mean, all WeiboGaming has to do is play with that spacing, and they have to play the team fights a little bit slower, wait out the initial engages from Top Esports, especially Rookie. And of course, you have to also keep your eyes onto Weiwei, having that flash available coming up very soon. And Top Esports, they've been playing like clockwork in terms of how they approach these team fights. Weiwei would always look for a flank onto the enemy carries and play off that setup that this Greg is able to provide onto the enemy team. However, Mark, we haven't seen that same type of ability coming out of this Pike for this Game 1, so hopefully he's going to be able to at least get some vision around these major objectives.
Yeah. The tough part, though, does become your kind of dealt hand at this point in this game. Because again, like I said earlier, Weibo want you to start the objective. They want to be able to be the decision makers coming in with a lot of poke and a lot of CC setup. Jackie Love maybe not even getting to make a decision here as he gets grasped by nature and Light shuts him down. 3-0 for the ADC of Weibo.
That was very clever from Light. He Gale Forced in, and it allowed Chris to dash onto him and close that space between the AD carry of Top Esports, and now they're going to start Baron.
They are setting the tempo in this game number 1. They might not have the gold lead, but they definitely have the decision-making power. Wayward can look for a cask in. Tien's around the side, 2,000 health down. Tien can't get in the pit. Tien goes down before he can even get the spine off, man! Baron goes to Weibo, and Top Esports are running away like dogs. Rookie gets a big pop buster, but it doesn't matter for long, as they should be able to chase down Mark here. One shot, Weibo will be able to pick off the support of Top Esports, but they'll go straight to this dragon.
And that's not only Baron, that's a tower in the mid lane, and also this second dragon going towards the side of WeiboGaming. That final Q isn't going to hit onto Mark. Can he get away?
The hammer has come. You didn't know it was the multi-hammer. You thought maybe you were looking for the poppy. No, it's the chase that comes to town.
And with that Baron power play, I mean, Top Esports, they are slowly running out of options. WeiboGaming, this scaling composition has come alive, and they are just finding pick after pick onto the bottom lane of Top Esports.
As we get into this replay now, we also just see that decisiveness from Weibo onto Jackie Love.
Yeah, that Gale Force coming out of light to allow Chris to dash onto them, and Weiwei getting that final CC onto this Draven just meant that this was going to be a 4v5 from the very beginning. But WeiboGaming having Tien on a chokehold, having that vision on this Wukong, and instantly focusing him down before flipping the 50-50 Baron is something very pleasant to see as a LPL fan.
They didn't even have the Shy there to push him into the back of the Baron wall. It was just straight CC that worked out for them.
Yep, and now with the Baron, they can start forcing 4-1 type of macro plays throughout this entire map. Even a 1-3-1 as you see Xiaohu pressuring towards that bottom side. And I think this Nico pick, and specifically Nico and Wukong, we haven't seen them kind of utilize those chokes and being the first ones to engage. While WeiboGaming, they're the ones being the proactive team for this Game 1.
And they're at a very, very strong point now as well with just the tools they have available to them. While I still feel like they will want to be to fight at fights last, they now are just in a pretty advantageous position that might not matter, right? They still have about a minute on this Baron buff. They're looking at a tier 2 tower with a TP from the Shy on bottom side.
I'm surprised no one is going to be pushing in that midway, but Tien is topside, by the way, so this is going to be an uncontested tier 2 tower, and WeiboGaming, they are going to slowly walk towards this mid tower, but that's not Tien. I'm getting pranked by Nico.
He got baited.
I'm getting baited.
It happens. It happens. You know, new champ, new things. Speaking of new things, though, we got 3 items there for Xiaohu in the mid lane. Rookie is trying to look for something of a pick on the side. Xiaohu, speaking of, those 3 items ain't gonna help you. Cast a curse to hell.
All right, buddy, Xiaohu, that was an unnecessary death as we have WeiboGaming now working towards that tier 2 tower, but a lot of ultimates committed to this Jace as well. No TP, however, for the hands of Xiaohu, so that is going to slow down the tempo just a little bit. The Top Esports for the next 40 seconds won't be able to look for another similar pick onto this side.
Looking at the state of things, we did just get that 3rd item completion for Light. He also bought a stopwatch, so Weibo trying to continue putting the pedal to the metal here. About 2.5 minutes for another dragon for them to spawn, but it's now just about getting vision back out on the map because they do so well when they have vision priorly set up and can move around the composition of TES. And for TES, they're starting to get to the point where the team fight's coming online. They can pick apart the members, but Jackie Love just doesn't have the power to sustain that lockdown.
Yeah, I feel like locking in something like the Pike, you want to be looking for those picks before you fight these full-on 5v5s, especially up against something like the Poppy and Maokai, where your Draven, he does have the LDR, but your Nico currently sitting on 2 items. It is going to be all about this Draven dealing that damage for the time being. But I do want to highlight that Tien in this game, we haven't really seen the presence of this jungler around the bottom side, and that's going to be their biggest downfall with them being down 3k gold.
Cask Okay, just trying to get some separation and clear this minion wave. They're TPing on the back. That's Rookie with looking for a big pop blossom. He finds 3-4 members, but again, there's no damage to follow him up. Mark gets the reset. They've got one. They're trying to pick apart. Mark doesn't survive though, and here comes Light. He's already gotten 2 kills. He's looking for more. Wayward steps forward. Wayward about to go down to Light, but he can't get him, and Xiaohu survives. They have so much range now. There's not much that TES can do against the Seeds in a tier 2 tower fall.
And it ends up being a 2 for 2, but like you said, WeiboGaming still gaining that tower. Now they're gonna all reset and work towards that Dragon Soul point. Well, JackieLove, I mean, it is just such a tough situation being this Draven because you're just slowly getting outranged as we see an amazing flank angle coming out of Rookie on this Nico. I believe it landed an ultimate onto 3 people, but Chris, as the counter engage on this Rakan, gets his hands onto 4 members, and it buys so much time. And of course, Rookie falls at the very end.
The fact that Light gets that Calibrum, or at least the Severum Moonlight Vigil off as the combo's coming down, but the cleanse still was there and available. Really good execution from Light. Xiaohu making it out with barely any health. But in actuality, Light is on fire. And for a matchup that JackieLove was confident that he wanted to overwhelm, Light is overwhelming JackieLove at this point.
It's not too hard when you have a living tree in the bushes 24/7 towards that bottom side, but you see Top Esports trying to deny this Inferno Soul, but WeiboGaming, they want to look for the fight.
In the bush. Those are some tanky members there. Nature's Grass comes out right afterwards as well. And Weibo, they want to pick this fight after Top Esports tried to start it off. The big cyclone from Tien on the back though, but Weibo just reset the positioning and they just leave Tien out of there. Not even gonna give Crisp the kill here on his previous jungler, but they will take down Top Esports one by one as the dominoes start falling.
And I think that's it, Mazel. I think that's going to be game 1. That doesn't hit. JackieLove is a skinny legend, as now they're going to just slowly work towards this inhibitor. I think the Baron is also something that WeiboGaming can consider with 3 members dead on the side of Top Esports. But this game is done and dusted for them to take. Xiaohu and Light are just too strong.
And I think going back to Light as well, he was on LNG. He was a standout on LNG for over 2 years. This man had worked his way to being a big combination with Doonby back when Doonby was on LNG. But he made enough of a spark to get noticed by Weibo, right? He came over here in the 2023 spring split. And while we didn't see the biggest success from Weibo, they had so much strength through this bottom lane, and it seems like they're just building on that continuously. 7-0-6 for the man.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the records because when we do talk about WeiboGaming and Top Esports, the last time they met during that spring regular split, it was like piloting a champion like that Caitlyn, and we had so many flashy montage moments from this player, as he is now, in my heart at least, one of the best Caitlyn players we have in the entire League of Legends scene. As Rookie, being a 2-item Nico, not even having that Zhonya's available doesn't mean he gets instantly popped, and this team fight is just very sad to be witnessing if you're a Top Esports fan. How do you even play the game? The Shy is just always at the front, and it stops all of that mobility from Wayward and Tien from engaging and look for any angles.
God, man, the Shy is ruthless. Just the little tip of the ledge to flash and knock him into. And Weibo, after getting that inhib mid, will be looking topside now.
Unfortunate thing is Rookie, he only has one chance.
Rookie.
Having that flash,
it's
no
a moving
stopwatch.
I love that it moves. That's great. The siege does come down though, as again, Weibo are so strong from this kind of position. They just poke you down. Wayward goes in, tries to get the engage on the life, but he flashes in time, or at least gets the cleanse out in time. And TS getting knocked back a little bit. JackieLove back in base.
Free base, I guess.
Home guard, hopefully. But they are still sieging here with the Shy, the lone gun in the mid lane, and the rest of Weibo barreling down topside.
They still have one more chance. Rookie still has that flash available.
Oh my God, the Shy! Again, just so ruthless on this Poppy. Knocks you into your own tower, and then the team fight just falls handily afterwards. Rookie is very, very low, but JackieLove still has a lot of health here. The towers are the focus, and Light knows where to go. He wants to take down this overwhelming carry. play from TES as Light's giving them the guns. Can't hit that Calibrum, but they turn right back onto the Nexus and should be cleaning up game number 1. Weibo dismantle Top Esports.
And it was all because of a singular pick in those team fights. The Shy locking in Poppy and knocking away 2 members at that game-deciding dragon meant that this gold lead snowballing out of control.